What is happening, everybody, on YouTube? Steve here with Raiken Profit over at RaikenProfit.com, coming to you guys with another live show. And in today's show, we're going to be talking about, are you an eBay seller and are you struggling to transition over to Amazon FBA? And the reason why I chose this topic is because I was at a thrift store today. I was at Savers, and I know a lot of people in my local area who are resellers. You know, we bump into each other. We've known each other over the years. You know, we've struck up conversations in a thrift store. We've become friends. Or, you know, there's a good handful of people who know me from YouTube, and, you know, they said, hey, are you the guy on YouTube? And we've become friends, and we started chit-chatting and whatnot. But there was a guy that I met today. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting his name, and I know he's in the comment section every now and then. It's fast something. So I'm trying to think of his handle on YouTube. So I apologize, but he's a great guy. And we met today at Savers. We bumped into each other. We shook hands. We were chit-chatting for a little bit. And he's an eBay seller. And he wants to get into Amazon FBA. I can tell that he wants to get into it. He came up to me. He had a toy in his hand, and he said, scan this. I want to know what it's going for on Amazon. And I scanned it. It was like a 600,000 rank in toys, which isn't the greatest, but it's not the worst. There was like 11 or 12 reviews, which was decent. And it was going for like, I think $40. And I asked him, I said, what's it going for on eBay? And he kind of had a sad face on, and he was like, it's not going for much on eBay. And I said to him, like, you got to get into Amazon, man. You got to get into FBA. And I saw the hesitation on his face and his voice. He was skeptical about it. And that's why I want to do this live show, because I was once like that as well. Don't forget, folks, I'm an eBay seller at heart. You know, that's how I quit my job at the Cracker Barrel. That's how I quit my job delivering pizzas and, you know, working a 9 to 5. It started with Craigslist, but my main thing, which allowed me to get over the hump in terms of income, was eBay. So I'm an eBay seller at heart. And for me personally, transitioning over to Amazon FBA was a struggle. And I know what it's like firsthand to be almost in disbelief. You know, you're not in the game. You don't really know how it works. You know, it looks like a struggle. There's all these new rules. Returns are so easy. The fees are high. You know, these are all the things that eBay sellers see from the outside. But really, the point I want to make is it's such an unbelievable opportunity. So that's why I want to jump into this topic. Let's make sure that the sound is okay. Typically, I do a sound check first. So bear with me for one moment. I've got a computer on my other screen right here. Let me do a sound check. Let's make sure. All right, looks like the sound is working properly. Let's shout some people out. And again, if you're wondering, what am I looking at? I've got another screen literally right beside me with my cup of Starbucks that I'm sipping on before my softball game starts in a couple hours. But we have 65 people watching live right now. So first and foremost, thank you for watching live. I appreciate it. It's a lot of fun having you guys here. Also, make sure to look below and smash that like button. Give me some love. It looks like we're up to about 10 likes already, so I definitely appreciate that. Smash the like button. Let me look on my other screen right now and shout some people out. We got Vintage Philly, PA. Hello from Philly. What is going on? My stopwatch is going off. I apologize. Christina. Hey, Steve. Thanks so much for these videos. Yes, FBA confuses me. And I know what it's like. I know what it's like. When I first got started, it was super confusing. So hopefully I could dispel some of the rumors and maybe motivate you to get going in the right direction. Harley Woman saying hi. Hello. Kayla, what's going on, Kayla H? Good to see you. Mrs. Lugo, hello from Orlando. We've got Florida in the house. Lori, KC, flipping for a living. What's going on? Sad 1986, not so perfectly me, stating I am utterly lost with FBA. So I've got a few notes here, guys, a few things that I want to cover. I don't have a lot of time to hang out with you guys today, maybe about a half hour. I've got a couple things that I got to get done before I leave for my game. So I want to come to you guys, add some value, and help you guys out as much as I can in this limited amount of time. Louis the Seller saying, what up, Raiken? I can relate to this. I'm struggling with developing a passion for FBA. I'm working through it. Part of it is the instant gratification of eBay. The cha-chings are addictive. I definitely hear you on that. But one thing I want to say is, guys, there's an amazing opportunity with Amazon FBA, right? There really is an amazing opportunity. I came from the eBay world, the Craigslist world, and I want to say first and foremost, the things that attract me, maybe the couple things that attract me most to Amazon FBA is number one, you can scale your business much easier by leveraging Amazon's workers at their warehouses. Number two, you can save time and really focus on the things that matter most, because instead of having to, take pictures and store your items and prep them all up for shipment and shipping them and customer service and all that stuff, you send it off to the Amazon warehouses, right? Number three, you could typically get more money. Yes, you can actually get more money for a lot of these items that you're selling, just because people want to buy Prime. There's a bigger market over there, and I don't know what it is. I've sold on eBay, I've sold on Amazon. A lot of times I can get more money on Amazon. Now, this isn't a live show saying, Amazon's better than eBay, vice versa. I think they both have their pros and cons, and I definitely say it's super smart to make sure you're continuing to sell on eBay, because there's a lot of items you can't sell on Amazon that you can only sell on eBay, like used shoes, certain DVDs. There's restricted products. If you're not gated in certain things, you can't sell it. So that's not a battle that I want to talk about. But anyways, let's dive into this show. First thing I want to say is, if you're struggling to transition from eBay to Amazon, you need to realize first and foremost that it's a different game. If you were, let's just say you're in high school and you played soccer your entire life, right? You played soccer, you grew up playing soccer, kicking the ball around, you've been coached, you've been instructed, you're a great soccer player. If you were all of a sudden, maybe you have a friend that plays baseball and you guys started playing catch, and then, going to the field and messing around, and you're like, you know what, I want to try out for the high school team, the baseball team. You wouldn't expect it to be the same exact thing as soccer. It's a different game. There's going to be different rules. There's going to be different strategies you're going to have to implement. It's just a different game. And it's the same thing when you transition over to Amazon. So instead of looking at it like almost in comparison, like, well, you can do this on eBay, you can get away with that on eBay, like, I like this about eBay. It's an entirely different game. So you have to go into it knowing that it's a different game, and you've got to have your mindset prepped for that. If you go into Amazon thinking it's eBay, you're going to set yourself up for failure. So hopefully that example helped you out. It is a different game, just like soccer, baseball, anything else out there. So you have to approach it as if it's a new game. You have to learn the rules. So that's one big thing that definitely helped me out as well. Number two, one of the things that I noticed that most eBay sellers don't do when they're trying to transition over to Amazon is they never really take action, right? They dwell on the fees, they dwell on the returns, they dwell on the whole process, and they never really get their first item listed. They never ship out their first shipment to Amazon FBA. And if you're an eBay seller and you don't know what Amazon FBA is, essentially what you're doing is you're doing the same thing as eBay, but instead of you fulfilling your items, taking pictures and shipping it out to the customers and doing customer service and all that, you're shipping it all out to the Amazon FBA warehouses, and they're fulfilling your orders in a nutshell. FBA stands for Fulfillment by Amazon. Amazon is fulfilling your orders. So really, one of the biggest things you have to do is you just have to bite the bullet and just get your first items shipped out. A lot of people, for their first shipment, they're trying to do 100 items, 200 items. No, don't do that. Start small. Start with a box of like 4 or 5 video games, or maybe 5 or 10 books. Get your first shipment out. I can't say it enough, because, one of the things that stops a lot of eBay sellers from succeeding on Amazon is they never learned the initial process of shipping it out to the warehouses. And when you first get started, it's confusing. It's definitely confusing. I'm going to jump into the comments real quick, and I want to make sure that I'm answering some questions as I go along. Thanks again, everybody, for all the likes. Excuse me. We got 74 people watching live, 40 likes. Keep smashing that like button. I definitely appreciate it. All right. Hello from Greece. We've got Greece in the house right now. That is amazing. Lou says, I feel like the fees are unreal for a smaller scale seller. Kayla says, just waiting for my poly bags to get here. FBA confuses me. Robert Benares, get out of here, man. Robert Benares is actually a green room member who I believe is a 6-figure Amazon seller, and he's coming in here with some jokes and whatnot. Sorry, guys, I'm just looking for a few questions. So yeah, fees are higher. With eBay, typically the fees are going to be, if you were to combine PayPal and the eBay fees, It's anywhere between 12 to 15%, depending on what your item is and listing fees and all. Typically 12 or 13, but I'm just kind of rounding up 12 to 15%, right? And when it comes to Amazon, typically you're looking at around 30% fees, give or take. But really, the big thing that you have to realize is you're gonna get a lot more money at times with certain items on Amazon FBA. So say you get 10% more money on Amazon than eBay. That 30% difference, well, that 20% difference is already down to 10%. And the big thing for me is it's the scalability, taking yourself from the point of working in your business to working on the business. And to elaborate a little more on that, what I mean is when you're selling on eBay, you're working in the business. You're taking all the pictures, right? You're measuring everything. You're storing everything in your warehouse or in your bedroom or wherever. You're creating the listing. You're doing the description. You're doing the keyword research, the title. You're fulfilling the order. You're shipping it out. You're dealing with customer service. All that. You're dealing with it all, right? With Amazon FBA, you eliminate 95% of all that. You're piggybacking on listings. And what I mean by that is on Amazon FBA, most of the listings are already created. So for example, excuse me. Let me make sure I didn't just mute my thing. Hopefully you can hear me. One moment, please. Let me make sure that I didn't just mute my microphone. Excuse me. Okay, sounds good. Sorry about that. For example, what was I saying right there? I completely forgot what I was saying. Let's see. I don't know. I lost my train of thought, but here's a Mario tennis game. I completely forgot. So somebody picked me up on what I was saying. Excuse me. Sorry, I got a little flustered because I thought that my microphone got muted. But really, it's a different game. You have to realize it's a different game, but you've got to get your items. You've got to just send it out. You've got to learn the process. And here's an example of a game right here, Mario Tennis. And some people are wondering, like, how do you ship this thing out? How do you get it out? Pretty much what I'll do is I'll just bubble wrap this real quick, stretch wrap it, and then put the label on. You pick the price when you list it. Tony says a more true comparison would be comparing the merchant fulfilled fees to eBay because FBA is doing way more. A more true comparison would be comparing the merchant fulfilled fees to eBay because FBA is doing way more than eBay does. Exactly. Piggybacking on listings. Oh yeah. So I was talking about piggybacking on listings. So with Amazon, like for example, this game right here, if you look it up on Amazon, there's already a listing created for it, right? So I don't have to take the pictures. I don't have to create the title. I don't have to create the description. Any of that stuff. I'm piggybacking on the listing, which means I'm trying to explain how to say this. You're pretty much jumping on the listing and just putting in your price, and you're another seller on that listing. So that definitely saves a ton of time right there. Another big mistake that I notice eBay sellers transitioning over to Amazon, one of the things that they struggle with, and one of the things that I feel like really holds them back is they don't take into consideration how important rank and reviews are. When it comes to selling on Amazon, rank is probably one of the most important things, and reviews as well. And I'm going to explain. First of all, rank is pretty much a snapshot in time of the last time or kind of how often an item is selling. It has to do with sales velocity. So the lower the rank, for example, a 10,000 rank in books is going to be a faster seller at that time versus a 50,000 rank. And rank is going to, it's not created equally. Rank isn't created equally. Depending on what category you're selling in, the rank, a 50,000 rank in books is amazing, but a 50,000 rank in video games is very, very high. So, you have to take a look at the rank. eBay sellers, they jump in, they see a product, they just buy it, right? And they're not looking at the rank. They're not looking at the reviews. And the reason the reviews are important is because it's going to tell you a story about the product, how popular it is, how many people have purchased it and actually taken the time to, leave a review and say that they're satisfied. Also, reviews are important is because it'll give you a good idea of, is it a good product or is it a bad product? Are people happy with it or are they disappointed? You can buy an item that's, a 20,000 rank in toys, which is a super fast seller. But if it's got a 1 star, if there's 100 reviews and they're all 1 star reviews out of 5, you're going to get a return back, and that's discouraging. That's very discouraging when you're a new seller on Amazon and you're coming from the eBay world, because let's be real, there's typically a lot less returns on eBay than Amazon. And let me kind of touch on that a little more. Maybe not a lot less, but I would definitely say there's less. There's definitely less on eBay, just because as a buyer, I think it's a little more challenging. I'm not 100% sure how eBay handles returns now, but I know with Amazon, it's hassle-free returns. There's no questions asked. I don't think there's anything such as returns or no returns. There's returns accepted, no questions asked, pretty much. And the customers could print out a label and they could return it easily. Whereas with eBay, I feel like it's a little more difficult on eBay. But rank is super, super important. You've got to get familiar with the ranks. You've got to understand the difference between, a 50,000 rank in books versus video games, or a 50,000 rank in video games versus office products, or a 50,000 rank in, clothing and shoes versus, a 50,000 rank in home. There's a lot of different categories. So that's really, really important. There's no such thing as sold listings on Amazon. Whereas, you go to eBay and you look up the sold listings, there's no such thing as that. While there are, websites and softwares out there that can give you an idea, like Keepa.com or Camel, which will give you a sales history, it's not as easy to see exactly what an item's worth or what it's sold for in comparison to eBay. So that's one thing I've noticed that gets, eBay sellers caught up a little bit when they're transitioning over. It's a different world. It's a different realm. There's no sold listings. There's this rank, and these eBay sellers are thinking to themselves, what in the world does this rank mean? You've got to get yourself a good chart. Get yourself a good rank chart. There's a lot of them out there. If you're a green room member, we have one, and it'll tell you like the top 1%, the top 5%, and all the various categories, what ranks to focus on. But that's very, very important right there. Good Used Goods says the fees are more than eBay. Buy for Amazon. I don't need to stock and store tons of small boxes and packing material. Plus, it frees up time, and time is the only thing you can't buy more of. Exactly, Good Used Goods. That's really the guiding light for me when it comes to Amazon FBA is the time and the freedom. I'm not looking to be a multi-millionaire right now in my life. It's not my number one goal. My big goals for me is having my freedom, being able to, spend time to exercise, to pretty much be able to live a life of passion, to be able to help people and make a difference. And, FBA allows me to have my time to do those things. Whereas with eBay, if I wanted to make a full-time income on eBay without having employees in a warehouse, you're looking at least 30 to 40 hours a week working really, really hard. Whereas with Amazon, there's times I could take a week or two off, and other times I just work 20 to 25 hours a week and still earn a full-time income. So for me, it works. But that's definitely one of the biggest things for me is the time. Flipping for a living, Raiken, I would pay for 10 minutes of your time to look at my Amazon items and advise what I need to do to boost sales. You don't have to pay. Just if you want to drop a private message to me, just send me over your store and I'll take a look at it and let you know what I think. Louis the Seller says, I suggest everyone start with books to get used to the process and gain some confidence. So let's touch on that real quick. Choosing a niche, right? One thing I notice eBay sellers do when they transition over from eBay to Amazon is they try to be a jack of all trades. They try to, make it work with video games, and they try to make it work with retail arbitrage items and books and electronics, and they're going to pawn shops and garage sales. They're messing with home items. They're messing with kitchen items. I would say when you first get started, don't focus on trying to make the most money. Don't focus on trying to build up a massive business when you first get started. I'd say the first 30 days, your goal should be to choose one niche, whether it's books or video games. I don't know what it is, but choose one thing and just get really good at it and learn how to ship items to the warehouse. Learn how to go through the process. Learn how to analyze a deal, how to work the Amazon seller app, how to, use the product placement, how to stick your SKUs and your labels and UPS shipments, and just learn the process. So for me personally, I'd say one of the best opportunities and the easiest opportunities to transition over from eBay to Amazon is to get started with books. And I agree with Louis the Seller. Books are a great item to get started with for a few different reasons. Number one, they're super cheap. Number two, you can find them anywhere. garage sales, thrift stores. They're all over the place. And number three, they're easy to ship. You don't really need to prep them. You don't really need to polybag or bubble wrap them most of the time. You just throw them in a box. They typically always go to the same warehouse. It's a great item to get started with very little risk. And when you're doing books, you can learn the entire process of how to ship to Amazon, how to deal with the rules, how to write your descriptions, how to price the items according, all that good stuff. So I think that is very, very important to choose a niche when you're first getting started. Don't try to rush the process. Stefan Palerno's, who is one of my mentors, someone I look up to, he does a goals report each and every month. And one thing I like about what Stefan does is he builds upon his goals. He starts them small, but he builds upon them. And over the years, he's built up these massive goals and he's accomplished all these amazing things. And I actually had him on my channel a couple weeks back talking about affiliate marketing. But, have realistic goals. Your short-term goals should be things that you can actually achieve within the next couple of weeks or the next month. When you set a short-term goal for like a month out, if you're just getting started, maybe a short-term goal would be, I'm going to ship out, 25 items. That's your goal for the first month. Or I'm going to ship out my first shipment. Don't have a first goal of I'm going to ship out 100 boxes and, get 1,000 SKUs into my Amazon inventory, unless you've got experience with e-commerce and everything like that. But definitely start getting some goals together, some short-term realistic goals. And your long-term goals are more, of the unrealistic, the things that you don't know how you're going to get there. So K. Alex Rivera, I don't have money. I'm trying to buy Samsung products, which are expensive to buy in bulk. My goal right now is to learn how to make my own online arbitrage list. So if that's your thing, that's your thing. I'd say honestly, if you're going to transition over from eBay to Amazon and you want to get started on Amazon, I would start with thrift stores and garage sales. Why? They're just so much easier, right? They're everywhere. It's a lot less money to invest in the products. You don't have to rely on these, websites shipping you the items, and there could be damage, and there's just a lot of issues that could happen with online arbitrage. Now, I don't do online arbitrage, so take what I say regarding it with a grain of salt. I definitely want to get more into it. But I'd say start with thrift stores or garage sales. You can get items super, super cheap, and the margins are great. And it's a lot easier to ship them in. You don't have to wait for another company to send them off to you and deal with all the logistics of that. Daryl says, I'm finding Goodwill is starting to figure things out and are spending more time researching things before pricing them. Margin decreasing by 20% or so on higher end quality items. Thoughts? They are catching on. Goodwill's catching on. Savers, they're catching on. These companies have been catching on for a while. But they can't catch everything. When they hire workers for $7, $8, $9 an hour, they're not going to catch everything. Bottom line. Even then, I mean, you can't catch everything. You can have all you guys at Savers working at Savers, resellers experienced. You're still going to drop the ball somewhere once in a while. And you got to remember too, they can only price items as high as the market's willing to pay. Say you live in, Raleigh, North Carolina, right? They could price items as high as eBay and Amazon prices, but if it doesn't sell, they're going to have another box truck come in the next day and another box truck and another box truck. And next thing you know, the store is going to be jam-packed. They're going to have no room. They have to move stuff. They have to move stuff until the day that they can get everything online. And I mean everything online, and have all those processes, ready to roll, which is at least 5 to 10 years out if they ever get it done. I don't know. I think there's a lot to say about brick and mortar stores and having physical traffic going through, getting the quick sale. So I don't think that business model is ever going to go out, but they can only price things as high as the local market's willing to pay. So, they're catching on. Yeah, prices are getting, they're going, through the roof in some places, but other places there aren't. And, they still drop the ball. So, if you see margins drying up in a particular area, continue learning, look into other things. There's so many different elements in terms of Amazon FBA. There's not just one thing, and there's a million different products. Let's see the guns. Mom and pop thrifts are the best. Yeah, mom and pop thrift stores are definitely an excellent place to go to source items for eBay or Amazon. Next thing I want to talk about is something that I gave this advice to my buddy today at the thrift store. And I told him, I said, do you remember when you first started eBay and you first started whatever, it was hard at first. You didn't have that eye. You weren't able to notice, certain products and notice certain opportunities. And the same thing is when you transition from eBay to Amazon, right? You're transitioning from eBay to Amazon, and you're going through the book aisle. Maybe you're doing retail arbitrage, or you're at thrift stores, garage sales, looking for Amazon stuff. And you're so lost. You're like, I can't figure it out. There's no deals out there. There's no opportunities. And I felt like that too when I first transitioned over, right? And I was 100% selling clothes on eBay. I transitioned over to Amazon, and I was like a lost puppy. I'm like, there are no deals out here. How are people going to make money? But the thing is, to make a long story short, you don't know until you get into the game. Like, you've got to get into the game to be able to grow and to be able to realize the opportunities. So just get started. You're not going to see the opportunities until you get in the game. Start watching these Amazon videos, Amazon podcasts. If you're in the green room, start, looking through the feed. Go to thegreenroomuniversity.com, read the blog post. Watch these videos. There's so many different Facebook groups, free groups on Amazon, FBA. Start associating with like-minded people and figuring out what they're doing, and you're going to start to slowly see the opportunities open up. And you guys know what it's like. If you came from Craigslist to eBay to Amazon, you don't know where the opportunities are until you get into the game. So just jump into the game, and you'll form that eagle eye in terms of finding profitable Amazon products. Let's see. So that's pretty much it in terms of my notes of the things that I wanted to hit on. So I think I'm going to just look in the comments feed and answer some questions. 96 people watching live. So thank you for watching live. I appreciate it. Be sure to hit that like button if you're watching live right now. At 4:15 Eastern time, drop a comment in the comment feed on the right hand side of the screen. Say hello. We got Health Fitness Growing Organic saying hello. What's going on? Lou Chains. We got Jason Neal. Question: what is your favorite store for retail arb? I don't do a ton of retail arbitrage. I'm more of a thrift store, garage sale, pawn shop guy. Retail arbitrage is less than 10% of my overall sourcing strategy. But in terms of my favorite ones, it's either Walmart, Target, Barnes and Noble, or Toys R Us, but mostly Walmart and Target. From the limited knowledge and education that I have in terms of retail arbitrage, I would definitely say Walmart and Target. And Q4 is coming right around the corner. And for you eBay folks, you might not know what we're talking about, but the Amazon Q4 is hot. You can go to any retail store and buy toys, games, send them into Amazon and make a profit. Now, obviously, there's a lot more to it, but a lot of the Amazon folks are priming up and prepping up. And there's a lot of folks who, say you only make $2,000 a month on Amazon. When it comes to Q4, they hit 10, they hit 15, they hit 20. For the folks who know what they're doing, they pretty much 10x their sales because there's such a demand for toys on Amazon FBA during, the October, November, December months. So it's going to be pretty cool seeing it all unravel. How do you look for local liquidators or places I could find overstock? I actually did a live show the other day with Mr. Chaz. So look back, he had a little bit of advice in terms of liquidators, but I don't do any liquidations or anything like that. So unfortunately, I can't help you out with that question. Retail arbitrage, I find there's less profit per item, so you need larger quantities. So there's two big strategies that people use with retail arbitrage. Number one, they go to the clearance sections, at Big Lots, Walmart's, Targets, and they look for items that were, substantially discounted. They buy it and sell it. With retail arbitrage, you're typically going to have less profit margins compared to, sourcing from thrift stores and garage sales. So yes, you are correct. You are typically going to need larger quantities. So that's strategy number one. Strategy number two are finding those profitable items that aren't even discounted, but they're hidden. They're just profitable on Amazon for one reason or another. And in the Amazon community, we like to call them replens or replenishables. Those are items that you can go out and buy on a regular basis, whether they're grocery items or certain toys or games. And you go out, you buy them, and you sell them. And when they sell out, you go back to the store and get them again full price. Sounds crazy, I know, but it's true, and people make it happen. How many listings do you have at the moment? I haven't checked in a while, but I want to say 800 to 1,000 on Amazon. Steve, what may help others is if you give a step-by-step, very general comparison of listing on Amazon as opposed to eBay. That's actually a great idea. I could definitely do something like that in the future and kind of show you guys the difference and what's similar and what's not similar. Just jumped in here, but what rank would you stay under for books? So in terms of rank and books, right now I'm really trying to focus on books under 1 million rank. So under 1 million isn't too bad, and they typically sell pretty quick. Anything over 1 million, 1 to 2 million, it's definitely starting to get long tail. 2 to 3 million is pretty long tail. And anything above that, I'm really trying to stay away from. And I know Amazon just implemented a new rule today. If you go onto your Amazon seller dashboard, they have a new rule. I don't know if it applies to media. I feel like it's non-media items. Somebody help me out here. But they have a new rule where if a item is over a certain rank and it sits for like a month or two, they're going to start charging you extra fees now. So there's definitely an issue going on with Amazon with slow selling items. The long tail items are sitting too long and their warehouses are getting stocked up. So they're starting to implement rules to have you get them out of there or not send them in the first place. So what's the best place to private message you, Raiken? Look me up on Facebook at Steve Raiken. Or Raiken Profit on Facebook. Send me a private message over there, and I'll do the best I can to get back to you. But it's tough sometimes because there's a lot of messages coming through. Spent $2,300 on Pokemon stuff 3 months ago. Wow, you timed that just perfect. I am approved on Amazon merch, but I haven't taken much action on it, unfortunately. So I actually didn't source anything from any of the sports authorities. For the folks out there who are wondering what Jenny is talking about, sports authorities were all closing down and they were liquidating and getting rid of a lot of their stuff, and a lot of resellers went in and purchased a ton of stuff. The same with Walmart. There were a lot of Walmarts that were closing down. So that's definitely pretty cool. How would you package things like coffee mugs and other unique or used items for FBA? Well, there's certain items you can't sell on FBA. I don't know if you could send in coffee mugs on FBA. I know they came out with Amazon Custom, so I don't know if that's FBA or what the deal is with that. But a lot of products that you sell on eBay, you can't sell on Amazon FBA. And that's what I was mentioning earlier on in the broadcast is, it's still a good idea to have your eBay account open because items like used shoes, used kitchenware and stuff like that, some stuff you're not going to be able to put on Amazon. So, or you're going to have to get approved for like clothing and certain things like that. What has to go in poly bags? How do you know? How do you not lose money on items that aren't selling? I mean, there's always going to be a certain percentage of items that don't sell, right? It's part of the game. But the key is to have enough margins in your items that, if you sell 60 or 70% of them, you still make money. And you know how it is. It's the same with eBay as well. There's a certain percentage of your items that just won't sell, and you're going to just have to clear them out for a loss. Would you trust crystal barware to FBA? Certain things when you send them off to Amazon FBA, they're fragile, so you're gonna have to package them up, really, really carefully. You're gonna have to bubble wrap them, double box them. So I mean, I think the same thing applies with selling on eBay with fragile items. As with Amazon FBA, but there is an extra step with Amazon FBA, which is shipping it to their warehouses and then trusting that their employees aren't going to throw it around. So, I still would trust shipping off certain things to Amazon FBA that are really fragile and may break easily, but do take that extra time to make sure that you package it up properly and make sure it's safe. So if you're wondering why I'm looking this way and you're just joining, I have another screen right here with all the comments. So I'm just answering comments and trying to help you guys out as much as I possibly can. Brandon says, a year ago, I got everything together for FBA, like postal scale, label maker, etc., and a bunch of stuff from thrift and garage sales, and never got around to Amazon. So thanks. So hopefully I'm motivating you. Brandon, my advice to you is, you're all prepared. You're all ready to go. It looks like you got really motivated, right? You got really excited. You probably watched some video on YouTube, or maybe you learned about it from a friend and you got super excited. But when it came down to actually putting in the work to make it happen, you failed to get started, probably because you were overwhelmed. Let me know if I'm correct. You were probably overwhelmed with, you were probably thinking to yourself, I don't feel like learning how to do this Amazon FBA process. I can't figure out where to put the labels. I can't figure out how to print the labels. Like, there's so much to learn. And I'm sure you got overwhelmed. So if I'm wrong, let me know. But I pretty confident that's probably what happened, because you got everything all prepared. My advice to you is to just take it a step at a time. Take it a step at a time. Get yourself into a really good community, whether it's a free group or a paid group, or take a course or something, but learn, have someone to help you guide you through that first FBA shipment. There's a lot of free videos on YouTube. Amazon actually has a lot of free videos that will walk you through the process. You could call support, get on the phone with them, get your first shipment sent out. It's the hardest thing, Brandon. I'm telling you, it's the hardest thing is getting that first shipment out, right? But once you get out that first shipment, it's like say you have 1,000 pounds on your back and you're trying to walk with it, right? And that's like the comparison of like getting started with Amazon FBA. Once you get your first shipment out, literally you threw like 800 pounds off your back. You're still going to feel the stress because there's still a lot of things you have to learn in terms of analyzing deals, the Amazon seller app, returns, conditions, just the rules that you have to follow. There's a lot. But literally, you're taking like 80% of the stress off your back when you get that first shipment out. So get it out. Get it out. Make it a goal to get your first shipment out, even if it's 5 items. Why don't you ever talk about reselling jewelry to buy low and sell high at the pawn shops? What's your thoughts on this? There's so many niches out there, from video games to books to jewelry to coins, to, kitchenware to, there's a million different things, ballpoint pens, electronics, Legos. There's so many niches out there, but I only know what I know. I've only been in this game for 3 years, so I don't have knowledge and expertise in jewelry, so I don't talk about it. But maybe eventually I will. But it's a journey. It's a journey as a reseller. Your education. Maybe this week you learn about watches. Maybe the next week you learn about clothing. Maybe the next week you learn about shoes. Maybe the next week you learn about video games. So it's a process, and I'm on the road to learning as much as I possibly can. What's up, old school Ace, man? You gonna break down and do a dance for us? You know what I'm talking about. Old school Ace says, yep, dealing with it right now. First shipment goal is by the end of the week. Hey, Scott, let me know if you need any help getting that first shipment out, man. Send me a message. Do you need to own a business to sell on Amazon FBA, or can I sell as an individual? You could sell as an individual. Just know that if, God forbid, something really bad happened and you were to get sued, they could come after you for all your personal assets. Whereas if you had an LLC or some type of corporation set up, you would be protected and have, less risk of liability. So if you want to do business under your own name, that's fine. If you want to set up an LLC, a limited liability company, and do business under that, you'll get an EIN number, a checking account, and all that, business account, and you could rock and roll that way. So either way works. If you're just getting started, I just start selling under your own name. Once you start scaling up and you're going to get into other types of items and products, if you ever want to go wholesale, private label, you need a business for sure. Gwen says, I did the same thing, Brandon, back in November. I actually sent him my first shipment in May. Now I'm hooked. Gwen Hill, that's it. She's hooked. I'm also ready. Eddie says, I'm also ready. I have labels, scale, everything. I just don't know how to begin to sell, but I'm so motivated with your videos. Every time I see it, I run to Goodwills and follow your advice. I appreciate that. And, thank you. Thank you for watching the videos and getting excited. But don't fall in the trap of just buying because you see me buying something. All because I buy something doesn't mean that you should buy the same thing, right? We each have different tolerances, risk, business models. So make sure you understand that. That's one thing I want to get across. All because I see, Jimmy John down the street buying something doesn't mean I'm going to buy it, because you know what? He might have more capital. He might not, maybe he has a full-time job to cushion it. Maybe he's willing to make $2 profit, whereas, I'm not, because maybe he has workers or whatever. I don't know what the deal is. But I appreciate that. But get your first shipment out, man. Get that first shipment out. You can make it happen. If you're a Green Room member, we do have an FBA course in the Green Room, greenroomuniversity.com. Obviously, it is a paid service. We have a monthly option or a yearly option, but we do have a beginner's FBA get started course in there. There are some free videos on YouTube. I know Amazon has some videos kind of training you how to get your first shipment out. You can call up support, get it out, get that first shipment out. I can't say it enough. Just reading the comments right now. Old School A says, thanks for the offer. Might be hitting you and the other Green Room members up with questions. For sure, just tag us in the Green Room Facebook group, and we will definitely help you guys out. But that's it, guys. I got to get rolling. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you're an eBay seller and you want to get into Amazon, and I'm sure that you do because I talk to a lot of eBay sellers. I interact with a lot of them locally. I know you want to get into it. I know you're hearing about it, and you know that you're passing up opportunities because there's certain items that just aren't worth your time to sell on eBay, whereas there's more money to be made on Amazon, vice versa, right? I'd say the same thing to Amazon sellers. Don't underestimate the power of eBay, right? And I've been starting to list a lot more items on eBay as well, and getting my sales back up and going again. But don't continue to just throw the profits out the door and just pass by these items that you could sell on Amazon. Get started, learn about it, start listening to more videos, join a community, start talking to people and make it happen. You can do it. You can do it. And to my friend that I met today at the thrift store, if you're watching right now, man, just get started. Get your first shipment out. Get your first shipment out and you're going to get hooked. I can't describe it in words. I can't describe it. And I've been in your shoes, guys. I was an eBay seller full time. That's all I did. I did eBay and a little Craigslist. I didn't even touch Amazon. And when I first tried to transition over, I just didn't see the value in Amazon. I didn't see the value. But once you get into it and you notice that the freedom that it brings you and the time that it allows you to save and how you can leverage their workers and the warehouses and how you can just make money and take off for a couple weeks and you can resell on the road. You can go on a road trip. I've gone on a 30-day road trip. I've gone on a 90-day road trip across the country buying and selling Amazon FBA items, shipping them off from my hotel. You can't do that on eBay. It's not possible. It's not possible to quit eBay without having workers and keep your store open for 2 weeks and make money because you're going to have to ship out products. It's just impossible. So it's not for everybody, and I'm not talking down on eBay. I sell on eBay. I think eBay is great for certain items, and I think that there's a really good opportunity with eBay because it takes a lot more hard work, in my opinion, than Amazon. That's just from my experience in terms of thrifting and eBay, thrifting, garage sales, and stuff like that. It's harder. It's more, not harder, but it takes more time on eBay versus Amazon. So I think there's an opportunity there. I think a lot of people are leaving eBay for Amazon, which is opening up an opportunity for you as an eBay seller. So I know I'm kind of all over the place right now, but I don't want this to be like eBay versus Amazon because I think they both hold their own grounds with certain items and different business models and whatnot. But yeah, thanks guys for watching. Again, be sure to smash that like button. We got 97 people watching live. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. I'm really grateful to have, such a large following of loyal, followers and just cool people. I get to meet you guys all the time. I meet you guys at thrift stores, out at restaurants. Just met a bunch of you folks over in Austin, Texas. We had about 100 people fly in. So, I mean, I love you guys. You guys rock. Keep up the good work. I will see you guys in the next video. And until then, keep on picking and making that money. I'll see you in the next video.